just like a taking back. Like I was like, man, like it made me more be like, oh man, like I want to get, like, even though I'm a photographer, I want to like start directing certain shit, you know. Like
it was really
stuff.
good, visually stimulating too. Like those shots, even the color of the movie is really good too.
Dude. That was showing like how big freaking New York City was, dude. Like,
dude,
it's one block to that block is a long ass time. Like you have to like hustle your
New York. Everything can change in a New York minute, dude. It's a New York minute. Whoever thought of those sequence shots had a really good imagination. Yeah, I don't know if there's any specific like person or type or what name of that type of shot, but that's really cool. And I don't know, when was this movie out? Like 2015.
Yeah,
15. I haven't seen any newer movies in a long, like newer ones, but those type of shots, I don't know, I feel like that would bring out a lot of different movies going from one scene to another, because it shows you within that city what's going on. It's like a pinpoint, kind of.
Yeah, and it's showing you like where that's happening in corresponding
and then, like, where you want to go. But in the movie, it like pinpoints directly the fucking enemy of the state. You know what I'm saying?
Where you could say they got that from was, you just played it, but it's GTA, bro. Like, GTA kind of does that move, but in a video game. So it's like that's kind of cool that they mimicked the video game in real life.
I can remember when this film was released, it was rather kind of quiet around the time that Liam Neeson was being cast as the older action lead quite a bit, because of his, obviously off of his massive success from the Taken trilogy. He had was the Gray and Nonstop and Unknown and all of these things. And I think that for me, so this film got lost in the shuffle. I kind of like tuned out of him for a while, at least in this type of role. But so this was as we were saying, this was a first time watch for me as well, and I really enjoyed it. The modern noir tone, in the vein of Running Scared or what's the other one? A History of Violence. There's like a graphic novel style to this that I feel like it really helps push like its narrative, with its characters and the griminess of the city. Like it really sells itself, and I'm surprised that it didn't do like it wasn't financial failure, but it wasn't like it didn't hit it. It didn't hit it out of the ballpark either. But I think it was a lack of marketing. Like I don't really. I remember this like being released, but I didn't see it like around the way that you would think with a cast like this, how they should have probably promoted it.
For me, it would be like, do you think a cast like that needs marketing? Like they probably thought like getting them would just handle it on its own, but
Yeah, but you have to think like about how Liam, although like he's like a big name, but he was kind of how do you say, like being drowned out, like in the way that The Rock was taking too much roles on, at a certain, like right now. That was Liam Neeson back then, where you're just like, oh, another Liam Neeson movie,
Yeah.
He needs to be Qui-Gon again, dude.
Dang.
Wes, I'd have to agree with you, dude, because I remember hearing about this movie and then it just kind of being drowned out within his other movies.
Yeah.
But just a quick little side note, when I told my brother we were going to watch this movie as a focus, he straight out said, why don't you guys just watch Taken? It's the same thing. And I think that's what people get about hearing another Liam Neeson movie. They just automatically write it off as, oh, it's one of those films. And I think sadly, if this movie were to come out before Taken, I think it would have got like a huge...
It would have blown up.
Yeah. It would have got a better response because, I don't know, like, now, like you said, people just see it as, oh, it's another Liam Neeson movie. But to me, dude, I think this movie is pretty good. I liked it. It definitely has replay value after just watching it once. I do want to go
I
back
could
and
watch it again. I could watch it a few more times. Like, it's pretty.
I want to
watch, dude.
Yeah, I do want to watch it again to see stuff I didn't notice before.
Right.
But I wanted to.
Eggs.
Yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to the music, dude. The music was really well, and I didn't notice until the end. Junkie XL does the soundtrack, and that's the same dude who did Furiosa Road for Mad Max.
He did also did Dawn of Justice. He did Justice League. He did a bunch, dude.
Oh, really? Awesome.
That shit sounds really cool. I was pointing
Well, Danny Elfman did Justice League.
Oh, Danny Elfman? Oh, okay.
Junkie XL was attached to it, but he got booted.
Oh,
too
damn.
grimy, dude. He was too grimy.
You got Snyder cut?
Snyder cast, the Snyder cast, bro.
Damn. But yeah, while we were watching the movie, I did notice the music, and I was really into it because it does add a little bit of suspense, especially when you're into it and watching it full blast.
Yeah,
I did really like the vibe of the movie. Like I said, it reminded me of like Running Scared, dude, and I really like Running Scared
with the mob and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And the hockey. There's a lot of hockey in this movie too.
Yeah. What's set for the tone, the serious tone, was how, like, if you saw Neeson versus Price or Jimmy versus Price, dude, he acknowledges him like he's a killer, dude. You gotta get caught. Like that probably set me like, damn. And then Common comes in all Terminator style, like straight at him. And so then be like, this is no joke. And Common really like was into it, dude. Like
you can tell.
Yeah,
he was a killer, dude. He shot while there was people there. He didn't give a fuck, dude. He fucking had that Vegeta thing on his eyeball and was just.
Did you guys catch that part where what's his name, Sean, Ed Harris's character calls Common because he's like a bad motherfucker hitman, you know?
Fucker for free.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think he doesn't, because Jimmy the Gravedigger has a reputation for being a scumbag. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and also I feel like I was pointing that out to Oneris. It was like, Jimmy and Price know each other. It's like if they're like contracted hitmen, like at the Continental or something. Like if they knew each other. They all hung out at that bar.
Yeah, there's that mutual kind of respect, but I think Price kind of saw it as like, oh hell yeah, I get to kill this guy. Like,
yeah,
no one put a hit on him before.
I did want to point out the police chief guy, the head detective. What was his name?
Vincent Detective Harding.
Yeah, dude, that guy was pretty cool too.
The Kingpin.
Yeah, that's what Tony was pointing out.
Yeah, I liked his character a lot because you saw like he's like, oh man, I really want, he really wants to get him, and I like this. The first scene you see them interact, him and Jimmy, and he's like, just give me a number, just you can tell it's something that's been bothering him for like for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
I will say there's a plot hole. There's like a small plot holes, but like when fucking Common's shooting at freaking Liam Neeson's character, Harding's right there and doesn't really acknowledge it that like much, dude. And I'm like, okay, like, is he gonna just let that go? Because basically, Common almost shot the chief of police, dude. Like, or like,
the head detective.
Yeah, dude. And I was just amazed that he just shrugged it off. Maybe he thought like, we're not the only ones after him, so he kind of let it go. I don't know how to take that. But a cop would like kind of like bounce to it and look for everybody that's like getting into action like that.
Did you guys notice that part?
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
He was right above him in the apartment building shooting down, but he was shooting down over Harding's head to hit Liam Neeson. But when he looked up, he saw who it was, and then just kind of disregarded who he was. almost like if it made me take a step back and think like, did he know he was working with the other guy, Sean McGuire? Like, did he know he was sent by Sean? You know what I'm saying?
No, because he didn't believe Harding, the detective, didn't believe that anything was going on other than what's his name, Jimmy and his son, like going on some rampage. That's the problem, is that they think that they're just like fucking that they're fucked up killers or whatever. And then that's like for me, it was like a realization for Harding, like, oh, like Jimmy's not lying, because remember, he's like, oh, we got all this shit happening, like, I'll turn myself in, but you gotta work with me through the night because there's all this other stuff. So when he sees that he gets attacked by some other random dude, he's like, oh shit, like, that's him coming to the realization, like, oh, he was not lying to me, like, I can, you know what I mean, like, there's something else going on.
He was telling the truth. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, like, I don't know. I felt like he should have said, like, also there's someone else. There's a third shooter or something. You know, there's a third party involved. But he didn't even. I don't know. Like, we both pointed that out. Like, shit, he should have acknowledged that somehow.
They also said in the movie that the cops hide evidence, so maybe like he was trying to keep it low key and under wraps. But I don't know. It was just crazy how they put it. Like, they can hear that. Like, I don't know. But maybe they're also focused on the fire that was happening up there.
I think there's just so much stuff going on, and I think that their main focus was trying to get Jimmy and Mike.
Yeah, I agree.
Same here.
I really like Boyd Holbrook's character, Danny, the son from Sean. How he was like, he plays that perfect, like, asshole, cocky kid who, like, grew up with everything, you know, like what he you know, everything handed to him basically.
And Ed Harris talks to himself and he's like, where did I go wrong? Like,
yeah, I really like that. He's like, you know, he's like, what do you think? And he's like, the exact moment my son went bad.
I have a question, guys. Did this movie come out before or after John Wick?
During? No.
After, because John Wick was 2014.
Okay.
The first one was 2014. Yeah.
Because I was going to say that character of the son being the badass who fucks everything up for the mob kind of reminded me of that same formula for John Wick.
Yeah.
But that's the same dude from Logan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tiny Whip. Okay.
And I live and breathe the Wolverine.
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like that character was essential because he does fuck everything up for his dad.
Yeah, he from the beginning, like, you know, working with the Albanians, and then
dude, yeah,
it's fucking crazy. And I really like how his dad's like, you know, I did the same thing that you're trying to do right now when I was your age. You know, I let a whole bunch of coke come in and ruin and see all my friends wither away. I had to kill some of my friends, and it's like, goddamn.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see why his dad didn't want the same thing happening with heroin with the new generation. So, but then again, you know, that's what his son gets. Like he said, you made the mess. Maybe someone other than me should fucking clean it up. Mm-hmm. But I think that's what set his son set him off, dude. Was
he takes that to heart.
I also think that's the differences between Jimmy and Sean. Like, Jimmy would fully go through with his son, maybe even stop him from doing all that. Well, Sean totally didn't, and he just let it happen. Like you said, and he said that someone else clean it up, but look what happened to him.
Right.
Yeah, I felt like Jimmy could have been like head of the mob if he wasn't such a fuck up and a drunk, and you know. He still had the head, you know. He still had like the mentality to be a good leader, especially for his son. But you know, I don't know, man. I feel like he was out for blood as soon as he found out that they were fucking with his immediate family. You know, especially because his son was like he wasn't involved. He had like a legit job. He
knew his son was a good kid.
He was a fucking community leader in the boxing stuff for youth and shit. So it showed that his son was actually trying to make a difference, and he just was in the wrong place at the wrong time, pretty much.
And you know that scene where